In a world built entirely on the attention economy, extreme digital visibility has become our ultimate social currency. Yet, right in the middle of this noise, there is a demographic of users who essentially live as ghosts. They never post selfies, group photos, or life updates. When we encounter these blank profiles, the immediate assumption is that these people are either intensely shy, painfully insecure, or practically antisocial. This deliberate silence serves as a psychological buffer, protecting an individual's internal space from a chaotic and demanding digital environment. Social media platforms are architected to distort everyday reality into a relentless, hyper-curated highlight reel of human existence. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. When bombarded by accumulating social currency, it forcefully tips the scale, instantly dwarfing the person next to them. This forces an endless cycle of performance, constantly measuring your own worth against the heavy weight of everyone else's highlight reels. Staying trapped in this loop has a measurable cost. The constant friction of performing and comparing steadily degrades mental health, leaving users deeply anxious and chronically exhausted. Surviving that psychological fatigue requires building a deliberate shield. Those invisible users have simply recognized the trap and opted out of the illusion entirely. Moving away from the public digital arena allows a person to build a highly protected internal mental space. Psychologists refer to this as having a high privacy orientation. It is a deliberate effort to strictly control what the public can see, filtering out external noise to protect a person's individual reality. We can look at this through a cognitive framework shown in this diagram. Node A represents an external locus of evaluation, where pressure pushes inward from the crowd. Node B represents an internal locus, radiating outward from a solid core. A person operating on an external locus allows their baseline self-worth to fluctuate wildly. Their emotional state is tethered to unpredictable metrics like comments, likes, and immediate public reactions. A person with an internal locus, however, remains perfectly steady. They judge themselves strictly by their own self-determined standards, completely insulated from the demands of the crowd. Removing yourself from the digital auction block physically severs the connection to the comparison cycle. By refusing to sit back and wait for an audience's reaction, these individuals develop complete immunity to the constant anxiety of public measurement. Maintaining that internal locus without feeling totally isolated requires a specific psychological foundation. It relies on a trait known as self-concept clarity. People with high self-concept clarity possess a rock-solid understanding of their own values and goals. They know exactly who they are and what actually matters to them, requiring zero outside proof to validate their choices. Without that clarity, users inevitably look outward for an identity, frantically chasing fleeting digital trends to figure out where they fit in. When your self-esteem is securely generated from within, the psychological impulse to constantly prove you exist through a camera lens completely evaporates. Adopting this specific behavioral strategy over a lifetime completely insulates a person from the endless noise of modern life. Highly introspective individuals preserve their emotional well-being by refusing to ingest the toxicity of the internet. They choose absolute peace over an exhausting performance. Their intentional silence starves the comparison machine of the fuel it needs to run. So the next time you scroll past a blank profile or think of a friend who hasn't posted an update in years, reconsider your bias. This digital absence reflects a high degree of emotional intelligence and a sense of stability that exists independently of the internet. In a digital world desperate for attention, realizing that you do not need to be seen online to validate your real-world existence is what defines true confidence.